Why did it do that?
I don't know.
There we go.
All right. If you're joining us, hopefully you didn't just totally spy on all of our amazing gear behind the camera. That would be the worst thing ever.
They just saw a piece of the TV.
A piece of the TV. Well, I guess you guys are forgiven then. I am Lyra Moon. Thank you guys so much for joining. This is my wonderful girlfriend, partner in crime, Lynx Vega.
Hello.
And I am a clairvoyant and intuitive empath, and I know that we all are, really. It comes down to tuning in, and that's what I want to help you guys with doing, with tuning in, with understanding. I won't be doing free readings today. That's going to be on Fridays. Free readings at 3 p.m. Pacific on Fridays. Today, however, we are going to be doing an elemental emotional weather forecast, which will give you an understanding of what's going on for your week ahead based on your element. And it will help also with showing you how we really relate to the energies that are going on right now. I mean, so many of the correlations can be tied to Gemini. Like, I'd love to know from you guys, have you noticed a huge intake in wanting to communicate, in jumping from subject to subject, in really getting the details of what you've worked out in Taurus season kind of hammered out, and you're figuring out how to fine tune things, and you're processing things more on an analytical level where you're wanting to just get things done, detailed after detailed, one thing after the other. I wonder if any of you guys have been feeling that, or a need to learn, or wanting to learn something new, maybe even uncovering parts of yourself from the past, childhood traumas, and dealing with other sorts of traumas that are allowing you to see how you process maybe differently. And so you're getting a different sense of who you are and how you experience things. So I'm wondering if you guys are experiencing any of that. We certainly have been. I wanted to talk about the forecast for last week while you're still getting set up. The last week's forecast was our very first one. We're good?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Was our very first one. And we discussed how the tools for each element were, for fire signs, it was the High Priestess. So I wonder if any of that was correlating with you guys last week. Did you feel compelled, fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius? Did you guys feel compelled at all to trust in your intuition, to trust in some of these new intuitive skills that you've maybe uncovered, or the ones that you already had that are deeper? Did you feel called to listen to your instincts and listen to your internal guidance system? Was there something that came up that said, trust in this path, go in this direction? You listened to your body's signals, you tapped in, and you were aware, and you brought yourself into awareness, and that allowed for a change of direction in a positive way. Did you guys notice this? And then I want to know if, so Taurus, we had the Hermit. You guys had the Hermit as the tool card that was guiding you through this week. So I'm wondering, did you find yourself being more introspective? Earth signs. We have Taurus, we have Virgo, we have Capricorn. Did you guys have any moments of deep introspection, of kind of solving problems, of figuring things out, seeing things from an observant point of view? Were there any moments where you just were really in tune with the earth? Were there any moments where you were just listening and things came? And then we had air signs. We had Gemini, we had Libra, and we have Aquarius. Now I'm a Libra, so we got the Tower, and bless you.
Excuse me.
And that was pretty significant. And I want to talk to you about my experience with having the Tower. I had some major relationships that in my life that had to shake up in a really big way. So we had this Tower come in, and we had revolution, and we had revelations, and we had epiphanies and aha moments and awareness, and everything just kind of like popped into existence. And, I also came forward and I talked about how I'm struggling with my mobility and struggling with the ability to walk. Something's happening, and things are changing really at a progressive rate. So there's a lot of kind of stepping in and stepping out of the shadow and stepping into alignment, I would say, for myself personally, realizing that I had to get in some higher conflict situations in order to find solutions to them using clear and, logical, direct conversation and communication in order to achieve that. So did any of you guys have any major shakeups in, a tower falling and having to rebuild it? I'd love to know that too. And then we're talking about our water signs. You guys, as a tool, had the King of Swords. So you guys were specifically Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, specifically having to use your clear and dynamic communication. You had to set aside emotionality, and focus primarily on what needs to be said in a logical, diplomatic way. What truth needs to be heard? What truth do you need to say or say to yourself, to other people? And how can you do so in a way that is using your intellect? So you guys were challenged with that. So I'm wondering, for you, how did you feel about this week as a water sign?
This week was definitely much more about choosing words more carefully, and not being swept up in other people's emotions, which is really easy to do. It's really easy to just get swept up in other people's things. So yeah, I think taking the time, allowing myself to have the time that my emotions generally wouldn't let me have, was really helpful to allow me to speak in a way that was effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is kind of it's definitely even at the ripe old age that I am.
Yeah,
is a skill that is a skill that I'm still working on. Is a skill that comes natural for some, but less for others. So, yeah, this week was, taking the time to remember that. Taking the time to remember to, use sword like wit.
Quick wit, dynamic energy.
To get what needs to be said so that things can get done and so that things can be understood in a shorter window of time and in a way that doesn't leave for confusion and miscommunication. Is surprisingly challenging, but very effective.
Very effective and very useful when, the right tool for the right job. And when we use it effectively, when we know that there's like something that we can make change happen and we decide to pursue that, then we can actually see, okay, wow, that really did work. Using that energy was really helpful. So I'd love to hear from you guys how your week was. And if you found any correlations or patterns. We're going to be talking about more of that as the coming weeks go by. We're going to be talking about how specifically, I posted a video today about energy. So I want you guys to check that out. It's very, very important because we're going to be talking about this more and more. So I want you to kind of get the structure of it. But the idea is that last year, more so than ever, like I don't pretend to be an expert in anything. I just love what I do and I love to share what I've learned. That's my whole thing. I love learning and I absorb learning. I am ruled by Sagittarius moon. So Jupiter loves to expand my mind with all sorts of knowledge. And usually it's astrological, or magic or anything occult. It's just, that's what I'm shoving in my brain at all times. So last year I noticed that I was starting to pick up more strongly on the energies, on the physical energies of the signs. When we would change from one zodiac sign to the next, I would start to notice these correlations and these patterns of, during Aries season, I'm much more angry about the things that I have let slip. I'm much more ready to take action. I'm much more ready to, be aggressive or assertive where it needs to be, where it needs in my life. And then during Taurus season, I'm much more likely to focus on money and finances, and I'm much more likely to focus on foundation and what is most important to me. And I started to notice more and more as I was diving deeper and deeper into astrology and as well as into the zodiacs, and that I could connect these things. And so this year, what's happened is that now that I've made this connection, there's this sense of this energy that I can like feel. It comes into play once we move from zodiac sign to zodiac sign. So if you're looking to strengthen your energetic, core, and be able to start to feel these energies, start paying attention to, oh, look, I'm processing differently. Oh, yep, I'm jumping from subject to subject. It must be something to do with Gemini. You start to pick up these patterns and behaviors, thoughts, and the way that we move and we think and we act. And you can tie some of them as a correlating pattern to the different zodiac signs you're in. So once you can do that, you can start to then feel those energies kind of take on a whole different meaning. And once you do this too, you'll start to notice that this is energy you've always felt, but you didn't have a name for it. When you give it a name, when you give it an identity, you give it its own awareness and you start to feel it more and more. So we're going to be talking more and more about this as the time goes on, because I want to start connecting, what we're experiencing, what we hear, what's going on in the world, to what is happening to us astrologically. Because when we have a deeper understanding to that, I can tell you guys that there is a sense of real peace and comfort in the fact that we get to have a little bit of a calmness come over when we have more of an understanding of what kind of energies are going to be entering into our auric fields. Well, if I know what's coming to some degree, then I don't have to fear it. I don't have to freak out over it. I can embrace it. I can go forward through it like a badass, on hellfire wheels. There's nothing that's going to take me down through this energy. Okay, so the planets are going to align and it's going to feel like I'm trudging through mud and I'm supposed to feel miserable. Okay, so that means that I can allow myself the permission to feel miserable, and I can allow myself the permission to be more introspective and to not be part of the pack right now. I can give myself time to go and feel whatever this is, right? So we give ourselves that permission, and it takes away from the fear and anxiety of just having it smack you in the face over and 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 over again. That is way harder than if you have a map to what's going to happen, elemental and emotional weather forecast. If you have a map of what's going to happen, then you have a much easier time experiencing the obstacles that you're facing and the situations and the things that were said, and all of that just comes more at its own, it comes, but you feel less inclined to be reactive. You feel less inclined to be emotionally tethered to that thing that's happening to you. No, it's not. It's happening for you. It's paving change. It's creating different roads for you. So it's, once you have a deeper connection to it, it really is easy. It's easy when I say it's easy because all it starts with is starting to understand each zodiac sign and understand what can happen during that month, and then starting to peg and cross the T's, dot the I's, and connect. Oh, I'm feeling this way. That is a characteristic of Gemini. So, okay, that means that I'm more likely to be a little bit more chatty, or I'm more likely to be more aloof. I'm feeling that way. Okay, all right. So these are things that I'm likely to experience during Gemini season. Then if you want to go a step further, you can keep yourself a journal of everything that you're experiencing during that exact season. And then you go look at it, for the previous or the next year. You go look and you see, oh, okay, this is what I was feeling last year. Oh, okay, well, this is probably why I'm feeling this way this year. So you start recognizing your own patterns, and oh my gosh, that is such a lifesaver. It is such a life changer. It is a key to unlock yourself from the fears and the mental traps that are supposed to come and take you down. They don't have to. It's a choice. It's a choice to let that happen once you have your awareness kind of how each energy aligns. You have more control over yourself and your emotions and how you respond to it all, because you can see it all in front of you. I'm going to start babbling, or stop babbling. I'm already started to babble. What's going on?
Grace said, "Hello, lovelies. How
Hey,
are
Grace.
you today?"
Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here with us.
And then just want to let you guys know today I've responded to a couple of people in the comments. Today we're here to give you your weekly emotional elemental forecast. So
Elemental emotional weather.
Emotional forecast.
No.
It's not a forecast?
Yeah, it is, but it's the elemental emotional weather forecast. We need to change it. I know. It's too many things.
Okay, that.
Yeah.
We're here for that today.
Yep.
That's what we're doing today. But I want to let you know, anybody who has specific questions, who want to look into, specific things going on with their lives through the tarot, come back on Friday at 3 p.m.
Pacific Standard Time.
Because that's what we're going to be doing free readings. In general, what we're going to be doing is during the earlier on in the week, Mondays and Wednesdays so far, has been emotional forecasts and discussing, giving you a heads up for your week, helping you figure out what it is that can give you all of the freaking superhero, super fancy tools to
That's
help
on
you navigate
Wednesdays.
that. So yeah, that's Monday. So Mondays we discuss like what's going on. Like today, we're going to be discussing what each element is going to face. So whether you're a water sign, an air sign, an earth sign, or a fire sign, what is going on with you this week? Wednesdays we're going to talk about more tools, expanding upon the ideas of what we've drawn for you. And Fridays we do.
Wednesdays, then we talk about the strategies of how to overcome. We also, on Mondays, we'll talk about what happened last week. And then Wednesdays, talk about strategies. How do we overcome? What can we do to protect ourselves? What can we do to, kind of clear our energy fields? And then Fridays, we'll be jumping into free readings. So that's how we have it set up right now.
That's what I was saying.
I know, but there was details. I forgot about Wednesday.
I was talking about Wednesday.
Oh my God, that movie's so good. What happened to Wednesday? If you haven't seen that movie, see? Gemini, again, totally ADD. If you don't think that ADHD is real during Gemini season, try to stay on one topic with people you enjoy. I enjoy you.
So that's what we got going on.
That's what we got going on. Let's jump in.
Crystal Pickett said, "Hey, love, happy Memorial Day. Hey,
happy
ladies,
Memorial Day.
Just want to stop by and say hello.
Hello, glad you're here.
And,
hope you're doing well."
And Danielle Brewer says hello.
Hey, Danielle.
She was responding to the week. She said her week was just okay.
Okay. All right. You're Gemini. Just okay. Did you have any lightning experiences? Anything that kind of came to you? Any epiphanies? Any aha moments? Anything like that? Or maybe major changes happen. Maybe changes happen in the way that you process things or you think about things. Maybe a conversation has happened that needed to happen. I'd also love to know, just in general, have you guys experienced are there any relationships that you have right now that have not changed since the beginning of Aries season this year? So since the beginning of, what is that, March 20th? Since the beginning of March 20th, or it's the 18th. I don't know. The dates always change. 18th or 20th. I think it's the 20th. Have you guys noticed, are there any relationships that you have left that haven't had a major change? Or have they all had some sort of major overhaul or makeover? Because I would say that I have just seen relationships after relationship, personal relationships, your family, friends, all of these relationships have somehow strengthened or changed, or, they seem to be more than what they were before. There's some sort of energy exchange that has happened. Either that person, there's people that are not in your life anymore, or the people that are in your life, there's some sort of strength in that has happened. So I'd like to note that too. Let's go ahead. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into the elemental emotional weather forecast reading.
And then there's one person who just said, hey. Darrell.
Hey, Darrell.
Hello,
I hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here on TikTok.
Facebook.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. And guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that notification and subscribe bell, all that whole jazz. So you guys get notified for when we do go live and do free readings on Friday. All right. Okay, let's see. So we're going to jump into 3 different areas per element. Fire, we have Aries, we have Leo, and we have Sagittarius. And we're going to take a look at, what was it? It was, we did the tool, we did love, we did relationships of all sorts, and we also did overall energies, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in reverse of all that.
I was just going to say, I think it was...
Okay. All right, lots of red.
Ooh.
All red. Okay, guys, fire signs. So this week is going to be focused on balance, of course, but we also have a strong energy towards like the law, towards balance in telling the truth, telling your own version of the truth, getting what needs to be said out there. There is bringing swift change and energy towards what matters most. This could be something that's in the personal life, in the work life, in something external of either of those things as well. There's a strong sense of having to understand what is needed, which was something that was processed last week. And now we're kind of more towards the deepening of our connection. We're understanding more of what our truth means, having to be assertive, having to stand up for ourselves, having to fight for our own truth. Okay, that's also something that I'm picking up as well. We've got a lot of red here. So all red, all 3 cards, very red heavy. Red is obviously going to be your power color for a lot of you fire signs out there. It has a lot to do with power, wisdom, and control, taking back control in some ways. So we could also, find ourselves struggling in one way or another to figure out how we need to say our truth or how we need to speak our truths. Okay, we have we're supposed to be opportunities and obstacles. That's what it is, right? Yeah, opportunities and obstacles. So opportunities for bringing ourselves into alignment with what matters most and bringing the people around us that look up to us, that depend on us, in that same alignment. Obstacles can still be trying to figure out what this assertiveness is and how to achieve it, or how to, work on it, or how to express it in just the perfect way. If you're still struggling with figuring out how to say the words that need to be said, I strongly suggest thinking about timing and kind of giving yourself that chance to, make the setting as perfect as it can be. Because if the person that you have to talk to is stressed, it's probably not going to be a good time to drop the tower. It's going to be better if you have more control and more balance as far as, saying what needs to be said. But I do see kind of the trying to get back into alignment with what's most important. Now, in our relationships fire signs this week, we have the 4 of Pentacles reversed. We had Justice as our obstacles and opportunities. So 4 of Coins reversed for relationships. This is relationships of all kinds. This is love. This is family, friends. This is coworkers. This is people on the street. Okay, relationships of all sorts. We're becoming more expressive. We're communicating more. We're coming out of the shadow. We want to be around more people, and we're letting go of maybe how did we feel before? Were we being social, or were we first focusing more on ourselves? I also see a lot of us kind of overdoing it, not really feeling the desire to talk to other people right now, not really wanting to be in the sphere of others, wanting to do more for self. So now we have this energy that's saying, go out, be around people, go express yourself more, go put your assertiveness out there, go put down new boundaries of what needs to be said, because now you know better. Now you know what you need. Now you know what you want. And now it's time to go and make those things change. And then we look at the tool for you guys this week. So we have the 6 of Pentacles reversed. See all this red, all this red, all this red. Lots of action towards making dynamic change happen and settling in your new boundaries of control and structure. Okay, so we have the 6 of Pentacles reversed. Your tool, what is guiding you, what's helping you this week, is the reality that we can't put energy into everything. We can't put energy the kind of energy that is important, that we care about, we're not able to put it into every energetic piggy bank out there. We're going to have to cut some ties. We're going to have to realize what's most important. We're also going to have to understand where we are giving too much of ourselves away and where we need to pour more energy. Okay, so there is this changing and exchanging of energy currently. There's I see this as like what's happening, and I recognize that, and now I'm going to go and make effective change to bettering my circumstances, because maybe the energy exchange isn't correct in all of these different areas of my life, and maybe I can improve it. What can I do to improve it? So this is taking measured actions to better the energetic, coinage, whatever you want to call it, in each piggy bank that you have it in, making sure that what energy you're really wanting is the energy that you're getting back. And that's a really strong indicator too. If you're in a situation where you feel like you're giving energy and you're giving energy to a person or a situation or a job, and it's not clearly feeling like it is giving the same energy back, then that's when you know you have to start looking deeper at it. Because if it's not feeling right, if it's not feeling like you are having the correct exchange of energy, then you have to start examining that and whether or not that's something that is working for you.
Or else it will just slowly draw from you. It'll just it's like a slow like a slow drip of pieces of you.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
It's easy
like bit by bit.
It's easy to ignore, but it's just like like in underground caves and stuff, just one tiny little drop of water can create an entire cavern.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what that's
a really
like.
Good example. Yeah, that's definitely what it's like. Did you want to pull anything on that?
Nope. That's my little piece of insight.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna hoe ahead. Go ahead. Whatever you want to do. We're gonna hoe ahead because why not? And we're gonna talk about Earth signs. So we have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorns. Y'all are sea goats. Do you know that? Sea goats.
Not
Capricorn.
everyone. Just Capricorn.
Yeah. Capricorn. They're sea goats. You're a moony sea goat. There you go.
And you go underwater.
Probably like that, yeah. All right. Earth signs still figuring it out. Okay, so all right. Opportunities and obstacles. When we're looking at our obstacles here, some of us are still struggling to let go and make the choice to choose you. Okay, I do see that for some of us. Some of us are starting or have started already to figure out, okay, I am enough. I matter here. I need to move towards acceptance, and I need to just let it go. Whatever it is, I just need to let it go this week. That's what I'm really being tasked to do. Let it go. Embrace what comes, because the world opens up for us when we do this. The world opens up. We are not giant. We are students here, meant to continue to experience, meant to continue to have, I need to turn this off. I never do though. Meant to continue to have experiences. When we shut ourselves off from experiencing anything and we live behind this wall that says that we're content, what we're really doing is saying that we decide that we don't want to gain any more wisdom, that we don't want to learn anymore, and that we have reached the limit of what we will take in. And I'm telling you that is not a way to comfortably live, because you're going to find that things get more and more depressing and limiting, and nothing new will come in. And that's a really, really hard reality to live by. So I see that some of you guys, Some of you are really experiencing that, of this big struggle of how do I let it go? Others are still kind of working through it. I see a lot of processing this week. Okay, we had some big transformative energy come into us last week that really made us evaluate how we're being treated. How are we treating others? Having to deal with our shadows, having to deal with our stability. Are we happy with what we have? Are we really happy with what we have? Is this enough? Okay, so I do see that energy kind of still permeating this week for you guys, for earth signs. Opportunities are endless. Opportunities, because what happens after we release this, what happens after we let it go, is we have freedom. We have freedom of over our own oppression, over our own chains that we, might have placed upon ourselves. That gets to break free, and then the world is your oyster. Whatever it is that you're trying to create starts to come into you. Okay, so then we look at your relationships of all sorts this week, earth signs, and we see the Four of cups reversed, and we have this new. We had the Four of Pentacles for fire signs. So you guys are in kind of a same boat in a sense. You guys are kind of at a point where you're ready to take any sort of new steps towards relationships. There's maybe even a letting go. Again, this could be connected to letting go of what was done, letting people forget what they owe you, letting it go, and moving on, giving yourself a real chance to connect with people that you've thought for a while that maybe you were resentful of, that you weren't interested in forgiving, that type of energy. So now we have we have more to offer. We have more to offer. We've emptied out our cups of old stagnant water, and we're ready to go fill them up again. So there is a sense of joy and excitement for what's going to come. You may be more communicative. You may be more expressive. There's less of this resistance energy that you guys are facing this week. More of a desire to communicate and see what else can come. Okay, so there's more interest in being outward rather than inward. We're letting go of this, the Hermit as our guide, and instead our tool, our guiding force this week is the Empress reversed. So whatever got scooped out left a huge resounding hole. Okay, the Hermit came in, it taught us how to feel, how to express what we feel, how to sit in what we're feeling. And then now we have the tool. The Empress is going to come in and going to help us redefine what love means to us. And the only way we can do this effectively is to decide to love ourselves. And some of us might be doing this without even realizing it. Some of us might be, finding that there's new patterns of how we care for ourselves a little bit differently. How do I care about myself? How do I give myself what my body needs? How do I treat myself with the love, the kindness, the respect that my body needs? What do I do to nourish myself? And there's more of an emphasis on caring and giving and loving who we are originally or innately. That's what we're here to do in this moment. So your guiding force right now is, how do I love myself? What areas of my life am I not loving myself enough in? What could I do to improve the connection with my self-worth? This is a great opportunity for you guys to start doing daily affirmations if you haven't already, or maybe change them up if you already do them. It's a good time to look in the mirror. I did this just last week. Do this for yourself, guys, if you guys are struggling with self-love. Look at yourself in the mirror after you pee in the morning and say, I'm proud of you. Maybe not for peeing.
I'm like, the timing on this.
Yes, maybe not for peeing, but you can definitely tell yourself that I'm proud of you. Wash your hands and tell yourself, I'm proud of you. Okay, not for the washing of the hands, though. I mean, timing, whatever. I'm just saying, doing it in the morning is way better than doing it at, just at night. Because then in the morning, you have this awesome, fresh start of you're already proud of you. I mean, you might have just made a pee, but that's it. And then you're proud. That's great. You had to do very little to make that happen. So then you can just keep going on throughout your day being proud of all of the things that you do. Those are things more than maybe you did yesterday. I'm proud of myself for insert thing here. And you can say that to yourself in the mirror. There's a balance we have to kind of look at of leveling ourselves up and not being so down about all the things that we perceive as being wrong. You know, having patience with ourselves because we're learning. We don't know everything right now is key. All right. So that's what I'm seeing for earth signs. What do you got? You're shuffling.
I was.
What you got?
Hey, I would say going along with the Empress reverse with what I pulled, it's just that it would just be to. So I got the Tower reversed, and my advice from that one would just be, don't be resistant to trying to figure out how to love yourself again, because that's the whole reason why everything came falling down in the first place. Is it's time for you to relook at and re-examine these things. That it's time to be like, oh, I have sucked at loving myself.
How can I not suck at loving myself anymore?
How can I be less, less
mean
abusive
to me. Yeah.
to myself? So do that. Do that. And be nice to yourself. Don't
be nice to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Okay. Rome was not built in a day, and there's a reason that stupid saying exists. Okay, because it really was not. So give yourself the opportunity to just experience new things that come in, and that allows you to open up other doorways to yourself. So give yourself a chance. Don't hold yourself back. All right, let's go ahead and jump into air signs.
Got a comment on TikTok. Just want to let everybody know. We'll probably have to do this pretty often on TikTok because everyone's coming in. But we're just doing emotional forecasts for each element. But somebody said, "Can I get a reading? I love your aura is so yellow with a hint of green."
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So I mean, if you want to come back for a reading, we'll be doing it around this time. So 3:00 Pacific Standard Time. So whatever time it is, wherever you're tuning in
on Friday.
It'll be around this time on Friday. So we'll be doing free readings then. So please come back. And,
make sure to I'd like to do in-depth readings as much as I can. But I do those on Friday. Do elemental emotional forecast for today to give you guys an overview of like what's going to happen for your week. And then Wednesdays, we look into strategies, tips, tricks on how to deal with whatever comes. And then Fridays, we do free live readings. So come check us out, 3 p.m. Pacific, and we'll go from there. All right, let's jump into air signs.
I want to say, I asked the room on Facebook. I asked the rooms what other signs we have hanging out today with us today.
Yeah,
Grace is our resident Pisces swimming around. As we said, Pisces here swimming around. We've got someone here saying hi from NZ. New
Zealand. I love that. I love that there's so many folks that are outside of the U.S. That's so rad.
Really cool. She's a Leo.
A Leo. I love it. I love Leo. Awesome.
Cool name. It's like I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's spelled Horiana.
I did not picture that at all in my head. Sorry.
That's a cool name, though.
It just didn't come through.
Give me a phonetic pronunciation of that. That's pretty cool. She says, "Hi, loves."
Hello.
And then Sonia O'Keefe says, "Hi."
Hey, Sonia.
Christina here is Cancer.
Christina. Fishies.
She says, "Hello from Saginaw, Michigan." What is that?
Where is that in Michigan?
Saginaw.
Anywho, hi from Michigan.
It's okay. So, Rihanna is Georgina is in English. Oh, neat! I love learning about new names.
That's pretty cool.
And stuff.
All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. That's super exciting. I love seeing new people. Hello, new people, and remaining classic people. Ooh, classic and new. Okay. Let's see. Air signs. We have Gemini, we have Libra, and we have Aquarius.
I was going to say, but not like New Coke. because everybody hated New
Yeah, let's not talk about new code.
Coke.
People were not. Look. Okay,
Oh,
I will
wow,
show
look
you.
at that.
Look, we have repeating themes. Okay, I love when that happens because that's going to show us, like, look, we have energies that are repeating. We have energies that are all going to be experiencing in some way. So reading my own forecast means what? What? All right. Well, we've got opportunities and we have obstacles. Four of Pentacles. Gotta work this week on letting it go. Apparently. All right, letting it go, working on what it means to even have stability as well. This is learning how to give ourselves away without giving away the whole bank. This is figuring out how to give away pieces of ourselves without causing tarnishment or damage to our well-being. So opportunities there are endless because this also gives us, every time we withhold energy, we withhold the ability for growth. We withhold the ability for something more. But sometimes we can be giving energy to the wrong people. We can be giving energy to the wrong situations or, the wrong opportunities. And when we do that, we could possibly damage ourselves by giving too much energy away. So be mindful this week, air signs. You guys are going to be focusing on letting it go and letting it go an appropriate amount. So it's kind of like finding the nuances and the balances and, learning, okay, I have to be more open. I have to be more expressive. I can't just keep holding all of this amazingness locked inside anymore. I have to let it out in whatever context you choose. But it is meaning we need to let it go too. We may be holding on to too much. We may be resistant to change. We may be resistant to allowing for new forces in. And we may be scared, honestly. Did I just get bit by something else? Gosh.
I don't see anything.
No. We may be resistant to change, right? And that resistance can lead to, to us feeling the want to express, the want to communicate, the want to give more of our energy and time and F's. But we may think that we just can't, or we just are unwilling, or it's too much, or what will other people think? So there is a balance here of letting go of what we no longer need, what is no longer serving us, and holding back what we still need, because there is a tendency to overgive, overshare, care for too many people, care for too much, or something that we cannot really help. So be aware this week that you guys are going to be, we are all going to be specifically focusing on giving too much and not giving enough, caring too much, not caring enough, pouring the right amount of energy in, not pouring the right amount of energy in. Checks and balances. I'm seeing that across the board because we've had 3 4s we've had 1 4 in all 3 readings so far. We've had 2 of the 4 of Pentacles and 1 4 of Cups. So I think that this is going to be a pretty balanced week for all signs so far, to say that we have the opportunity and the obstacle of letting it the F go and hanging on for dear life. So that's the challenge, okay? Challenges and opportunities. Opportunities mean that when we give an appropriate amount, we get to have new things come in. So remember, give away what you feel you can. And if you're struggling with that, maybe have a preordained list of no topics, of things that you won't go cross your boundaries on, of things you won't overshare with, okay?
No topics.
No topics. No. Okay. Relationships this week of all sorts. It's looking like we need to focus on not rushing in, not overdoing it, slowing down. Okay, because again, we're going to be processing information very quickly. We want to make sure that we have all of the details before we go and, create change, because we can make some change happen, but we need to have a slower pace about it. Mercury is very quick. It's a fast moving planet. It likes to move, meaning that you can cause yourself some harm if you jump in and you say something that maybe you didn't have all the information on, and now you've burned that bridge, and oh my God, the smoke, so there is a need to really, really have all of the details, have a full comprehensive understanding, and also don't allow emotionality to get into the picture. So once you have those things, then you can move forward. There's a tendency for miscommunication this week. There's a tendency for misunderstandings because you may be feeling more ADD in the air sign of Gemini, who's a mutable sign. You may be bouncing from topic to topic to topic, interrupting people. I'm really sorry I keep doing that. And when you keep doing that, it's a recognizing it, of going, I'm really sorry that I keep doing that. I am trying to work on it. But this is to say, you have to have more patience with yourself and your relationships this week, because you're going to find that there are misunderstandings galore all over the place. If you can give yourself more patience and, a little bit more credit, you can start to make yourself more aware of these things that are happening. And this really amazing trick that you showed me, I tried it out earlier in our conversation and it totally worked. You want to tell them about the finger thing?
The finger thing.
Yeah, that sounds way weirder out of context. But yeah, the thing that you showed me, I did it with an S today, and I was talking about, well, maybe spirits. Maybe that's, the spirits.
Oh, there we go.
That's why.
Yeah. I think the original way that I learned it was somebody had also learned sign language, or at least had learned the entire alphabet in sign. But you don't even need to do that either. So
I just did this. I just made a letter myself. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
So the idea is say someone's talking and you're really, really trying to fully give them all of your attention, but there's something that's really, really important and you're trying to remember it. And a lot of us fall into this thing that we just want to get it out, because we know that if we wait patiently like we're supposed to till the very end, especially if that person is developing a really, several paragraphs of an idea. So what I like to do is what she did today was she made like an S with her fingers. Made an S. So just while you were sitting there, did you just kind of go like this?
Yeah, I just did this. So I just did that.
Or you can be a little more subtle like that. Like if you're standing somewhere, you can maybe put your hand down a little bit behind your leg a little bit and maybe make I don't know. I always did it in really weird ways. Like if, for example, I wanted to interrupt with what you're saying with cheese, I would maybe make a little square and imagine a little piece of cheese in my hand and just hold the piece of cheese. That was the other thing too. You can imagine holding different objects.
And the point of this is to hang on to the idea of what you had without having to lose sight of the active listening portion, because you also are trying to actively listen, but you also have, this thing that you want to say and interject with, but you want to be fully way more engaged. I will say that because we were talking about what if it's called, we were talking about alcohol, and we were talking about, I can't even remember what it was, but you called it spirits, and that made me think, well, maybe that's why, because, when you drink, you can have a deeper connection with spirit. I'm like, well, maybe that's why they call it spirit. So I had made an S with my fingers in order to remember the word spirit. And it totally worked. Every single time I started to drift away while I was listening to what she was saying, I looked back down at my hands and I knew immediately it was for spirit. So I think that is a really great way, if you are finding that it is challenging to stay focused on what people are saying, to give yourself more of an edge.
It's hard to remember it later, because that's usually what ends up happening is I'm like, okay, I have something I want to say, and I'm like, okay, don't interrupt them, just pay attention to what they're saying, and then add your thing later. And then I go right back in, and then at the end they're like, so what do you think? And you're like, and I'm like, cool,
great. Yeah, and then you're really super focused on trying to remember what you were saying or what you wanted to say, which means you didn't really listen to the other person. You didn't really hear them out, and that becomes a whole thing unto itself. So let's go ahead. Let's see the tool. The tool for us, Geminis, Libra, and Aquarius air signs. So we have Temperance reversed this week as a tool. What is that? It keeps popping up. Is it okay?
Yeah.
We have temperance reversed, which means we have imbalance and balance. We have the need to we have the opportunity, rather, to get a chance to look at what is imbalanced this week and to really observe where we kind of let things slip, where we make allowances, where we allow for too much imbalance to happen, and where we are maybe too tight with our balance. So it's just kind of the same energies, I'd say, as the Six of Pentacles for Earth sign for fire sign of what you guys are dealing with, the same tool in a sense, right? Because we have figuring out where we're putting our energy in, what we're divulging too much into, what we're maybe, binging too much on, what we are needing to kind of pay more attention to. And that way we can have a more balanced sense of, what we can do to kind of right these wrongs. So it's going to be a big emphasis on bringing back what is most important and kind of letting go of what is no longer needed, what is no longer relevant. So that's what it's looking like for Earth's air signs.
I'm like, that's air.
Yeah.
That's air.
Air.
Let me see if I got one last thing to say real quick.
All right.
For y'all's airs.
Ears.
Yeah, that hand thing.
It does
really
work.
helpful.
Yeah, that was really helpful. Like, I just have to try it once, and I'm like, oh, opportunity.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
give that a shot. That actually really did help. It was really helpful.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what my additional piece of advice would be for this one. What do you think?
For Eight of Wands reversed
Mm-hmm.
would be that, sometimes delays are necessary. Sometimes we get, I've noticed this happens a lot. Like, specifically, there will be times where I'm scheduled to do a reading that's a recorded reading for a client, and I'll go and I'll set everything up and I have everything ready. And then a neighbor starts with a chainsaw, or the dogs all around me start going insane, or, the power goes out. God, it doesn't matter what it is. And sometimes delays are necessary. So if you're feeling really frustrated by all the things that are not going right, look for the silver lining in those things, because there's always something. There's always a reason for the slowdowns. There's always a reason for the delays. And sometimes, if you can think about a delay from the point of view of maybe something wasn't ready yet for you, if maybe you weren't going to talk to the right person, or not the right thing wasn't going to be handled, because you went and did it on this timing, but instead now that it's changed to this next timing, it's actually better, then you go with the flow better. So I would see it as like necessary delays.
Okay.
Necessary delays.
All right.
I have no idea what that's going to mean for me, but we shall see, fellow air signs. All right, water. Let's take a look at the emotion ocean. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Let's take a look at all y'all's.
Glug, glug.
Glug, glug. All right.
Mother plug.
Mother flug. You're cute. I like you. You're a little weird sometimes, but that's cool.
I know.
All right, getting me all off focused. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Focus on us water signs.
Okay,
Glug,
God,
glug.
God,
Mother plug.
you're too cute. It's
Good.
distracting me. Gosh, just don't look at me right now.
Glug.
All right, you. As usual, you water signs are the only ones that do not have correlating cards like the rest of us. I don't know why you guys gotta do things all fishy-like all the time. Everybody else is doing things on land and the earth.
We got 2 7s though.
You got 2 7s. So,
Wee.
good job. 2 7s and a 6. I mean, you guys are right in this area of, I would say, realizing foundation. That has been a huge thing for you guys, is figuring out your foundation over the last couple of weeks. Figuring out foundation and figuring out where your priorities are within the foundation that you've created, and what is most important to you. So, looking at obstacles and opportunities, we have the 7 of Pentacles. So, obstacles being that we don't necessarily know what the hell we want to plant, but we know we want to plant something. We know we want to make some new changes. We know we want to try some new things. Gemini season is great for short burst trying new things. Give yourself the opportunity to expand and try many new things. And I'm talking, okay, I don't know about you guys, but I got to a place last December where I was so effing bored of all the foods that I believed I didn't like anymore. Because I had grown up believing in a lot of ways there were many things that I didn't like. So I decided, well, if our cells regenerate every 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with your face?
I'm just smirking because I'm remembering all the foods.
Hush, you.
Sorry, tell
Shush.
your story.
Shush.
Tell your story. Go ahead.
Hush,
Go ahead.
shush. Just trying to tell the things. Shush with your face. Shush. Don't be looking at me. Shush. Okay, so that's better. Be back there. So this year I decided, well, if our cells regenerate every 7 years, then it's kind of stupid for me to just assume that I don't like the things that I want to go and try. I wouldn't like anything that I've tried before and I didn't like. So this year, at the beginning of the year, I decided I would try everything. And I have not stopped trying foods, and I have completely exploded my palate and my what is it that I'm looking for? Palate, food options.
The span of things of which
Yes.
you're willing to try.
That has all exploded and allowed for so much new growth. So it's kind of like that too. You give yourself permission, guys, water signs, my fishy friends, give yourself permission to try a bunch of different things, especially when you don't know exactly what it is that you want to do. This is the perfect energy to just piecemeal all sorts of different things and try a lot of different avenues. Music, try a new instrument, go to a new restaurant, try something that is different than what you usually do at night. Maybe play a board game, have a board game night. There's something new that you can do. And especially if you have been dealing with a lot of emotional wounding, if you remember the things that brought you joy as a kid, playing board games, playing on a playground, doing things that bring out your inner joy, playing improv games, whatever it is that brings out your inner child, that's what's going to help you guys heal the fastest. All right. And then we're looking at relationships of all kinds. All right. We are in a interesting position. We have another 7 of cups, or another 7. It's 7 of cups reversed. So interestingly enough, I will say this, the pattern that I see for all 4 signs is that it is between cups and pentacles this week. Okay. It's for cups and pentacles of all across the board, of what's repeated, right? So for, the first 3 elements, we had fire had the 4 of pentacles. Earth had the 4 of cups. Air had the 4 of pentacles, and now I'm seeing the 7 of pentacles and the 7 of cups. So we're looking at cups and pentacles this week as the major theme. So emotions and materialism. Emotionality, how to find emotional fulfillment, as well as how to find earthly material fulfillment or energy that is new, right? Creating new energy or going in what we feel is best for us. So when we're talking about relationships, guys, water signs, there is a feeling of making a choice, a stronger connection with people that are around you. For some of you, you're still working through this, still trying to figure out how to solidify your relationships, but you're starting to make a headway. You're starting to make progress in that direction. So it feels really good because you're noticing that the relationships are starting to strengthen. They're starting to, kind of take a new form. We're moving away from these more uncertain aspects and elements where we have been feeling a sense of just not really knowing what we want out of the relationship, not really knowing what we need, or even kind of fantasizing about what the relationship could be like if this person wasn't involved, or what this relationship could be like if, insert scenario here. So there's been a lot of kind of fantasizing and pretending about relationships and pretending and being unrealistic, to a certain extent. So now we're kind of cutting through all of that and we're starting to see, okay, real expectations. What are my real expectations of this person in this situation? I can let go of all this fantasy. And look, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It isn't always exactly what we were hoping it would be. And sometimes it's a molehill. So there is understanding here that that's what's coming this week. That's what we're working on this week, is further processing and being more in the frame rather of acceptance over what we have and what we're experiencing. Okay. And last but not least, your tool, your guiding principle, what's going to be helping you water signs out the most this week. We have the 6 of Cups. So it's actually, what I was actually talking about before is bringing back that sense of childhood, youthful wonder, okay? Reigniting the heart chakra. Do something that makes you feel young. Do something that brings out that child, that inner child. Do something that makes you connect with what used to bring you joy. What your biggest tool is this week is nostalgia, is remembering why you're in this. Things may be challenging on the outside, but if you remember the baseline of why you got involved, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel much more connected. And you're going to remember that you can let go of anything else. This is an entirely new moment. Every moment that happens is an entirely new moment. Just like, every sound that you hear has a beginning to the start of the sound all the way through to the end. Just like this word. It's a start and finish. It's seeing things from all different points of view and remembering why we got involved to begin with. Why are we in this? What do we love about it? What do we care about? What matters most? Because sometimes, we can get really involved into a situation or project, person, a dynamic, and we can keep going. And then a lot of other things happen on top of it that make us not really happy about the situation, which makes us have to remember, okay, well, this is all just surface stuff anyway. The real reason I got involved into this is because I really love it, and these are the reasons why. So sometimes it does mean that we've got to remember, to cut through the crap and go, oh, right, what was it before that I was so interested in? Okay, this is it. This is that. All right, great. So that's what I'm seeing as far as the elemental emotional weather forecast goes for us this week. What do you got?
The last bit for that is just, it's sort of like, it really comes down to listening to your intuition on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're really good at ignoring things. You don't really have to go so far seeking within to determine whether or not the thing that you're putting your energy time or whatever into too much. It's not even like, you don't even have to hermit. You don't have to go super, super deep, because in there, we've got a lot of layers of stuff that we put on top of it where we're like, oh, well, I don't know. But deep down, So use your intuition. Connect with yourself the way that the Queen of Cups does. She uses
emotional balance
to know exactly what's going on. We can dilute ourselves pretty easily, but if you take a couple of seconds to actually think and feel, where you should be and what you should or shouldn't be doing.
Absolutely. And it's also about allowing yourself to go into those moments, allowing yourself to go into the moments that bring you back to the past, that bring you back to the joy of the past, that bring you to those moments too. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for us today.
All right. I don't think there's anything
do we have
else here.
Yeah, if there's any questions, we can go ahead and do some questions if you guys have anything to throw up for a Q&A real quick.
In relation to the forecast?
In relation to the forecast or anything, honestly.
Did you want to pull a couple of random cards, or I thought we were saving that for Friday?
Yeah, no, I'm not pulling any cards.
Oh, okay.
Just Q&A is different than pulling cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what types of questions are you willing to answer?
Well, I'm willing to answer all questions, but I'm not willing to pull any cards.
Oh, so you're just going to give advice?
Yeah, just like we did the first time.
But people are asking tarot questions. That's what I mean by
all right.
questions.
Well, then no questions today. Scott make it all
Everybody-
confusing.
Hey everybody, we do want to answer your questions, specific questions. you
Tarot
have about your life, tarot.
is on Friday.
We're gonna do all of that on Fridays. We have free readings. We answer all the questions. We try our best to grab almost everybody, as
Almost
long as
everybody.
you're willing to stay in the room towards the end, because sometimes the list can get a little bit long. But yeah, we want to answer those questions for you. So come back on Friday at 3 p.m. PST, and we will be here, and we will be pulling cards, and we will be answering questions. But before that, on Wednesday, we're gonna be going. We're gonna follow through with each of the things that we said for each of the elements today. So we're gonna talk about, hey, how did you experience, that
Strategies.
let's see, what was air signs? Let's see,
Six of Pentacles.
temperance reversed was the
Air
tool.
signs, yeah.
Was a tool with me. So we're going to talk about what it was like and if we experienced any of that. It'll show off in a second, but it's fine over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're doing on Wednesday. So come back. We have lots of fun things to talk about. And yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. And we hope you guys had a great week last week and a great week ahead. We will see you guys all back here on Wednesday.
As soon as I figure out how to get us off of StreamYard Labs. Okay, bye.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Make sure to check out the energy video. Bye, guys.
Huh?